Hello, everyone. My name is Kenson.
And I'm Jay.
And this is our very first episode of Freshttake. And we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl.
The good, the bad, and the ugly. All the commercials, the performances, and everything that happened in between that. But first, let's talk about everything that happened before the Super Bowl actually happened. Now, on Twitter, there was something trending. And Kenson, you the one who showed me what was trending.
Basically, let's be honest, the Super Bowl wasn't as fun as it should have been. What was the number one trending topic that was breaking the internet was 21 Savage.
Yes, 21 Savage, people, is not from Atlanta, Georgia. He is a Brit or from the UK, and people had a lot of jokes, like they're talking about him eating tea and crumpets and everything about him being old good with the queen.
Yeah, and something that got someone in hot water was actually how 21 Savage was writing his verse. This person put on their social media a picture of 21 Savage saying how he's writing his verse in a quill and parchment paper.
Now, we're talking about Demi Lovato.
Of course.
Demi Lovato got into hot water because it's not that she's making fun of 21 Savage. Believe me, everybody's making fun of 21 Savage.
It was very entertaining.
But the thing is that she had her own problems, and she it was deaf tone and tone deaf.
Tone deaf.
And the thing is that she had her problem prior to her overdosing, and people were like, oh, how can you? Because we live in an era where people react. Mm-hmm. And the funny thing was, it was just like she had to delete her Twitter account.
Yeah.
Because she couldn't take it anymore. And
actually, it was Wale that brought it up. It was like, how can you laugh at someone's expense when they're being deported and their family's being affected by it? She took it, she twisted it, and made herself to be the victim, when the real victim in all of this, again, was 21 Savage, who's allegedly a British national born in Dominica, and she's making it about herself and talking about poor me and being a victim.
The big facts is that he made a non-for-profit to help kids about their financial wealth last year, and people are not even talking about that. The stuff about him owning his masters and everybody going after people that own their masters. Mm-hmm. I think the funny thing is just not that he was impersonating this lifestyle as being like, a rapper, gangster rapper, all this stuff. But it's just like, everything that happened afterwards. Like, we live in a society where they will clown you. Doesn't matter how much good you do.
True.
But once you just messed up, like, you mess up on saying something, doing something, or if you're even alleged of doing something, they wipe you clean.
Let me ask you this. Do you think his career is over as a result of this?
I think musically, his career is going to be on a standstill. I think people are not going to take him seriously. Right. But I think he's going to have a chance to redeem himself. I mean, Ja Rule tried to redeem himself until, that Firefly incident that has those two Netflix thing.
Netflix and Hulu.
And Hulu.
Yeah.
So, the funny thing is, it's just like we live in a commercialized
consumerism.
People just they don't know. And
Can I put on my tinfoil hat for 1 second?
Yes.
So James was actually making fun of me. I think this is all a conspiracy, believe it or not, because 21 Savage put out a tweet, and you guys can look back on it, saying that he owns his masters. And I think they were trying to get rid of him because he was taking ownership of his music. We can run down the list of Michael Jackson, Prince. Recently, we can even talk about Chris Brown and the kind of hot water he got into where someone allegedly said that he raped her. Yeah. And that was proven to be fake news.
Other than looking at that, we just have this big thing that we have to stop and let stuff happen.
Okay.
But talking about letting stuff happen, let's talk about those commercials for the Super Bowl.
Sure.
And I have to say, I have my top 5.
Okay.
I don't know if they're the same as your top 5.
I think so.
But I have to say, number 1 was a surprise. It was the NFL 100 players commercial. They were having a reception.
Right. Can I say this? I think that was by far the best Super Bowl commercial I've seen in a long time. I think the part that even made me like it the most was Tom Brady's part when he was like, hold my rings for me. And that even made me want to make sure that he lost the Super Bowl more because of that. But that was the best commercial.
I'm going to be honest. This guy was praying to Jesus Christ.
Yes, he was.
That he hopes Tom Brady, he hoped Tom Brady loses the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And the funny thing that happened was just like we're watching the game together, and there's a kickoff a field goal, not a kickoff, just a regular field goal. And he's like, please, I hope it's a missed field goal. And then what happened? A missed field goal. And I turned to my man like, hey man, can you pray for the lotto tickets?
That really did happen. Like, I did a little prayer. I'm like, maybe God is a Patriots fan, and maybe for this Rams fan, and maybe for this just one instance, the Patriots are going to lose. After I made that prayer, they actually missed that field goal, and I thought everything was going to go uphill for the Rams, but we all know the results.
So that's number one. Number two, I have to say I really like that. More than okay. Cardi B, Little John.
Can I do my best Cardi B impersonation?
Let's hear your Cardi B.
Oh,
wow.
That was really okay.
Clear your throat. You want
okay.
some water?
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. All right. Hold on, you guys.
He's gonna do it.
All right. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh
yeah. Don't you guys remember Nextel and Boost Mobile? And
it sounds like that.
It does sound like that. But I mean, I thought that was very creative. Pepsi always tries to do
very cutting edge commercials. They had the whole Beyonce one a couple years back. They had Cindy Crawford. They always come out with very edgy, like cool, funky commercials.
I know. Okay, so like I thought of that, and then we're both big Game of Thrones fan, and that Bud Light commercial with it ended up being a Game of Thrones HBO promotion. Yes. I thought that was really cool.
Phenomenal.
It was like
the Lannisters send their regards.
Yes, they did. But also, I found it entertaining in a way that it wasn't too gruesome as HBO could be. Yeah. But it was just like it had so much references from.
But how excited are you for this last season?
We're gonna do review.
Listen, stay tuned for that.
We're gonna do reviews of Game of Thrones and other stuff on TV. But I have to say though, the most entertaining value of that is just watching how Bud Light made something as boring, because there was other beer commercials.
Yeah, it was.
Michelob Ultra had that boring
ASMR with Zoe Kravitz.
Oh my God.
Where you talk into the mic and you do your most sexiest kind of slow kind of voice. Am I doing it? Speak up, and I didn't drink the Michelob.
Don't drink the Michelob.
And
she didn't drink the Michelob.
Softly.
It's organic and she didn't drink it.
Let me know if I did my best ASMR rendition.
But I have to say though that those were like, I think we said 5. Those were 4. We have
what about the most tear-jerking, or not tear-jerking, the most kind of touching one that really struck a chord for you?
The journalism one, I think, was the Washington Post.
Democracy Dies in Darkness.
It was something like, I have to look back and I think to myself like, what it means to be a journalist. And you know this better because you went to school for this. This is what you wanted to do. Yeah. And I thought back of all those people that other than soldiers, journalism, who go out in the field and have to like try to get the best information.
Dangerous territory. They go out there. They try to put themselves out there to go out and get the story and everything like that. So that was a good one. And the last one, which I know Jay over here agrees on, is the kind of surprising one, which was kind of hit or miss, but I enjoyed it, was the what's his name, Chance the Rapper and NSYNC Doritos one. Because everyone, anytime that Backstreet Boys song comes on, they do their best Backstreet impersonation, where it's like, I want it that way.
Recently, people, we just went to a wedding and there were 2 songs playing. I mean, there was the Backstreet Boys, that song, and then there was the R. Kelly song that we stopped, we listened to it, and everybody knows the lyrics to an R. Kelly song.
Yeah, facts.
And the fact that Chance the Rapper was 6 years old when that song came out, and he was doing his own rendition of it, and it just took my memory back into a time where you listen to music and you have appreciation. And nowadays you're like, okay, I'm listening to a song, but do I know the song? Does it take me back to nostalgia of the song? And I felt like that commercial took me back into the 90s with the boy bands, NSYNC, 98 Degrees, all that stuff. But like I have to say, like it was crazy. But like, speaking of crazy, we had to talk about
the halftime performance.
Yeah, the boring bowl of 2019, people.
Rihanna wherever you're at, if you're watching our show, please support us. I'm your biggest fan.
He is. He's thinking about getting a tattoo on his lower back of you. I thought it's crazy.
Know. I would do that if I actually met Rihanna, but she should have performed at the Super Bowl. I'm just saying. This was by far the worst Super Bowl performance I've seen in my entire life. It was worse than seeing turd in the toilet. You know what I'm saying? It was worse than watching your grandma get undressed. Okay. I'm a freak. Like, this performance was like, wow. Like, it was like seeing them practice rehearsal in kind of live form. Like, the guy had on a shirt that looked like curtains you can get from Walmart. He had on pillows. His shirt was actually something that looked like this. No lie. And so I just thought it was terrible. Boo to him. And you're supposed to be a judge on The Voice, and yet you look like you were doing a middle school talent show. Man, hot garbage, dumpster fire, okay?
But you know what? He was not the only one that performed. Travis Scott came in and went right out. Big Boy performed without Andre. I was like, where's Dre? Like, I was like, I need the Outcast to come together. They're in Atlanta, for God's sakes. So I thought something was off about that. The whole message behind them, where they had the one love and all the drones. Yeah. It was lackluster. It was underwhelming. It was like a snooze fest. I mean, you look at the Super Bowl itself, the score was what 13-3?
13-3.
In history, it made history for lowest watch and one of the lowest scored football game ever. And I felt like overall, like, if you didn't watch the Super Bowl, you didn't miss anything.
You did not miss anything. You really didn't.
You could have just stayed home, wake up the next day, go on YouTube.
Watch Pornhub.
No, don't watch Pornhub yet. You know, you have to be productive. Watch a couple clips, then go watch Pornhub if you want to. It's not a shout out to Pornhub. We're not getting the AdSense from that. But like, I felt like if you would have missed it, you would have been fine. And you know, I want to say one thing. The company that did it best was I think Lyft did the best promotion for, you know, on Tuesdays this Tuesday, which is gonna be tomorrow, and you could get a free ride. And I thought that was actually very good. Like, I mean, viewers, tell us what you think about that, about the Lyft commercial. Tell us what you think about all the commercials. I mean, the Super Bowl itself, I think it was, I mean, I don't care for that. I mean, like, it's just something that we all watch as Americans. Sure. But Kenson, like, tell me, like, would you watch this Super Bowl for next year? I'm hoping next year's Super Bowl would be good.
I'm hoping next year's Super Bowl is going to be amazing. I thought basically it was an uneven teams. Honestly, my Super Bowl teams I thought should have been in it was either the Rams or the Chiefs, or even which would have been a more entertaining one, because the quarterbacks would be the New Orleans Saints and the New England Patriots. And if you guys look, you've seen that New Orleans knows how to party, and they put on their own Super Bowl show because of that one call that made them not play in the Super Bowl. What was the call again on the player?
I think it was just a roughing. It was a late hit.
And that was one of the plays that in turn made them lose that NFC championship game.
Yeah, I think, like, overall, we'll look back at this as 2019, the beginning of the year.
As the most lackluster Super Bowl.
Like, you know, nobody cares
Super Bowl
about
53 is officially over, and it's officially in the dumps.
It's in the dumps. But you know what? I want to say, guys, tell us what you think about the Super Bowl. Like, comment, subscribe, follow us on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you know, YouTube, of course. Come on.
Yeah.
We're on YouTube. Write comments, man. We're going to read all the comments. You write something, we're going to read it, and we're going to respond to it. And
let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation about it.
Let's talk about it.